South Africa's rail network is extensive. Millions of passengers and over 100 billion tonnes of freight are transported by rail each year. The Rail Safety Regulator says achieving the highest standards of rail safety is imperative.
Rail is an enabler of this economic growth because people need to get to jobs for economic activity. The goods we consume need to get either to the port or from the port to the hubs in the center of the country. But you undermine that economic contribution when the people don't get there safely or the goods don't get there in the condition that they left.
There have been a number of rail incidents in recent months, some fatal. 24 people were injured in Paarl when a train derailed, while in Mpumalanga 6 children were killed at a level crossing. The regulator says the conference is a platform for local and international industry experts to learn and share technical information for safer rail operations.
We have Italian speakers here explaining the open access model, how they charge tariffs. We have other speakers who are with us on technology that we can deploy either for rail brakes, around level crossings, around security preventative measures. We have speakers who reflect on their experience in rail operations in their country, and all of this is aimed at empowering the nominated managers who are in the room, if they are at that level, to keep it up. If they are not, to learn from them and deploy some of what they have learned at this conference. And that is our responsibility as the Railway Safety Regulator.
The passenger and freight rail in the country has over the years suffered many setbacks, including vandalism, infrastructure and maintenance challenges. Technology and human capital has been cited as imperative for overall rail safety.
The use of technology to be able to prevent such incidents is now on the rise, and geofencing your networks and all sorts of other technologies that we are bringing into this is an important part of how do you make sure that first is you can detect, but all this technology does not help if you cannot react, because you have to have the level of deployment of physical security personnel that then allows you, once you've deployed the technology, to then be able to react to the alarms that are coming through.
Issues pertaining to access for private rail operators to the network have also come under discussion.
Open access is very important concept. Also, South Africa is going in this direction. It's a complex process, as we saw in many parts of the world. But what is really interesting is that it's very important to understand what is the funding for that. So in the presentation, it was very clear that for the infrastructure manager, there was interest to have a track access charge system that could work quite well, because it's very, very important to understand how to finance the infrastructure manager. Then on the infrastructure, we can have different railway undertaking using that network. And it's very important also for railway undertaking to know what will be my cost for using the network.
The conference runs until Wednesday. Vanessa Puna, SABC News, Cape Town.